3 new Workhorse videos are uploaded to YouTube every hour. This appears to have been the trend at least since last week. Each of these videos claim to have updates on the USPS contract, but it's really all the same old news. So I decided to make my video stand out. In this video, I'm going to be telling you exactly why I believe that Workhorse will get the USPS contract, or at least a large portion of it. And in doing so, I will be sharing new information that no one else is talking about. And we're going to be starting right now. Hey, what's going on? It's Pat from Top Ticker Trades. If this is your first time here and you want to learn how to grow your wealth through investing and trading stocks in the market, make sure you start right now by subscribing and tapping that bell so you never miss a thing. I'll see you in the video. Let's go. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Workhorse video. For those of you who have been following me for a while, you already know that I first called this stock on my channel when it was trading around the $8 range. You also know that I am extremely bullish on this company, and for very good reason. Now, with that being said, let me quickly address the fact that there are a lot of mixed emotions about the broader market out there right now. There are those that believe we will be seeing a huge crash very soon, and if you haven't noticed it already, you will. And then there are those that believe we will continue moving up and now buying stocks again, as they believe that the market recently confirmed this through technicals. I'm not going to take either side. My position is simply that you should hope for the best but expect the worst. As such, make sure that you are prepared for a crash in case that push does come to shove. This means you should have some cash put aside to blow on your favorite stocks, and you will do just fine. The reason I do mention this is because, number one, I want you to be prepared, and number two, I want you to be aware that our beloved Workhorse will take a beating should we find that the broader market falls. But enough about that, let's get right down to business. I'm going to try and keep this video pretty short and to the point. So, I'll mostly be focusing on new information, as I am sure you are familiar with the older details, but in case you're not, feel free to check out some of my previous videos on Workhorse, as they are full of details that you will find useful. I will leave the links for those in the description for your convenience. First things first, in order for you to understand the value of Workhorse, you must also understand that the company's value is related to another company called Lordstown Motors. Lordstown Motors recently announced that they will merge with one of those blank check companies. Some of you may know them as SPACs, or special acquisition companies. Now, we've seen this before a lot. There's been Nikola and Hyliion, just to name two examples. The SPAC that we are referring to here, which has partnered with Lordstown Motors, goes by the name of Diamond Peak Holdings and trades under the ticker symbol DPHC. The merger is set to be completed in the fourth quarter, at which point DPHC, or Lordstown Motors, will be trading on NASDAQ under the ticker symbol RIDE, R-I-D-E. So what does this mean for Workhorse, or what does this have to do with Workhorse? In case you didn't notice, Workhorse was up 24% on the day that DPHC started trading. The reason for this is that Workhorse owns a 10% stake, a non-dilutive 10% stake in Lordstown. Lordstown Motors' truck, called the Endurance, is based on intellectual property that Lordstown Motors is licensing from Workhorse. Lordstown paid Workhorse $15.8 million for the intellectual property, and Workhorse will make 1% on every Endurance truck sold for the first 200,000 trucks that are sold, and is entitled to 1% of any debt or equity that this new startup raises. Now, The new Lordstown merger is valuated at $1.6 billion. There's 2 points I need to make about that. Number one, it should be noted that Lordstown has sold $1.4 billion worth of endurance trucks, which makes it difficult for me to accept this $1.6 billion valuation. I would argue that the company is highly undervalued at this time. Number two, Workhorse will get $160 million added to their balance sheet as the $1.6 billion is equity financing. This is huge. So to wrap up on Lordstown very quickly, what most people don't know is that GM backs Lordstown. In fact, they even have money invested in Lordstown. The plant that Lordstown operates out of was purchased from GM, and GM has a battery cell site next door to the Lordstown plant. So now back to the topic of Workhorse for just a minute. Workhorse is the only all-American company competing for the USPS NGDV contract worth $6.3 billion. And as of today, Mahindra has removed their bid for this contract, which means that Workhorse is now one of only 3 companies competing for this contract. This leaves Carson and Oshkosh Ford, or Oshkosh and Ford. Carson, as you know, is a Turkish company. Oshkosh, which is working with Ford, are not producing all-electric vehicles. They are producing gas-powered vehicles, which will be important later on in this video. And Hackney is what the Workhorse position is under. So if you'll remember from my previous videos, Workhorse was teamed up with Hackney, but Hackney wanted out. So Workhorse bought out their position. So here's something I haven't heard anyone mention, but makes Workhorse the only logical candidate for this contract. Just last week, I believe it was on Monday, Trump signed a new executive order instructing the federal government and national agencies to hire American only. This would mean that the USPS will have to abide by the executive order. Additionally, on July 2nd, 2020, the House passed the Move America Forward Act with postal infrastructure investment. This is a $1.5 trillion bill that invests in roads, rail, public transit, ports, aviation, energy, and water. Of particular note, the bill included $25 billion for postal infrastructure, including $6 billion to upgrade postal vehicles. The bill requires 75% of the new fleet be electric or zero-emission vehicles. The bill also equips each postal facility with electric charging stations. So, one thing to note is that the government fiscal year ends on September 30th, meaning that it has to be announced, or the contract winner has to be announced by then, as the budget is allocated towards this fiscal year, and not using it would mean losing it. So here's how I interpret this information. Carson is not an American company, therefore I don't see them getting any portion of this contract. Ford and Oshkosh are proposing gas vehicles, therefore I do not see them getting a significant portion of this contract. This leaves only Workhorse. Based on the information I have reviewed, I believe that Workhorse will get a substantial portion of this contract, if not all of it. Either way, securing any portion of this contract will be absolutely huge for Workhorse. Now, the final piece of information that I want to bring to your attention is that Kathy Woods, the CEO of ARK Invest, has now added Workhorse to their portfolio 3 different times. I'm sure that Kathy Woods needs no introduction, but let me just say that she is known for being extremely bullish on Tesla when everybody else had doubts. Her actively managed ARK Innovation ETF is the best performer among 584 funds, which at least $1 billion of assets is in the global equity market, crushing the likes of BlackRock with a return of 165% income plus appreciation the past 3 years. and she beat 99% of them since ARK Investment Management LLC became a registered investment advisor in January 2014, according to data compiled by Bloomberg. So ladies and gentlemen, for all the reasons mentioned in this video, I am bullish on Workhorse for the long term. One last thing I should probably mention is that Workhorse reports earnings on August the 10th, and they're not expected to do that great. This may cause share price to drop, but it is also possible that the negative earnings have already been priced into the share price. Either way, be careful for that and keep an eye out on Workhorse for a good entry point. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, you've made it to the end of the video. If you found this video helpful, I ask that you help this channel out by smashing that like button, as it motivates me to keep making videos just like this one every single day. If you're not a subscriber, you should consider subscribing, as I publish valuable content like this daily. You can do so from your screen right now, and if you want to check out more of my videos, you can click on the video that you'd like to see on your screen right now. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.